Throughout last year, we watched the small boats push off from the beaches of France, saw them cross the channel mostly unhindered, and witnessed the images as they arrived in Kent in ever greater numbers. Now, the former Director General of Border Force says it's time to get far tougher. Tony Smith wants to see a rapid assessment, detention and then removal of those who are deemed to have no legitimate claim to asylum.
We've got to get into detaining people when they arrive here who are manifestly unfounded, abusing the system, detaining them only for a limited period, for as short a period as this. No one wants to lock people up for months and months, but get all the legal barriers, all of those dealt with really quickly under a detained fast-track process and start seeing removal. We've done it before. We did it in the UKBA when I was there. We had a detained fast-track process and we did deliver significant removals, and that's the best way of getting control of this.
The most obvious candidates for fast-track removal are the 13,000 Albanians who arrived on small boats last year. The UK government has agreed a new rapid returns policy with the government in Tirana, but so far only a handful of Albanian nationals who arrived across the Channel have been sent back. Another key agreement in the government's plans to tackle the small boats crisis is the Rwanda deal. Although the High Court has now ruled the plans to process asylum seekers in that country are lawful, with the possibility of further court appeals, no flights have so far taken off bound for Kigali.
It's taking about 450 days for that to be decided. Why can't those claims be decided within 28 days?
Conservative MP James Daly, who sits on the Home Affairs and Justice Committees, believes, despite any obvious momentum, in the year ahead, Rishi Sunak's government has the right plans in place to tackle the Channel migrant crisis.
This is the moment where we can do something about it. The question which people will judge us on is, should we have done that 3 years ago? And it's to where we are now. We knew this was coming. We knew these numbers were coming. And it's not acceptable. But I can only be a politician now stood in front of you who says, I want to look forward, we've got the right set of ministers in place, we're going to deliver, in my view, having had talks with various ministers. And that's where I think we're in a good place at the moment to deal with it.
Another one of Rishi Sunak's plans will see the creation of a new Home Office-led unit, bringing together Border Force, the military and the National Crime Agency to focus more effectively on tackling the Channel migrant crisis. The establishment of a dedicated small boats operational command will see the arrival of hundreds more personnel here in Dover. But will it lead to a reduction in crossings? Well, critics suggest all it'll really do is ensure that small boats are intercepted and migrants are processed more efficiently. And for the year ahead, authorities are already quietly planning for up to double the number of last year's arrivals. For Rishi Sunak's government, it's never been more important that the various pieces of his plan to tackle this problem come together. A record number of crossings this year would be politically catastrophic. Mark White, GB News on the Kent coast.